The college football playoffs are here, and you can bet on all the big matchups with FanDuel. Plus, right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just scan that QR code to bet college football on America's #1 sportsbook. Back here on HQ, presented by FanDuel with data analyst Mackenzie Brooks and college football analyst Danny Cannell. We're talking Army-Navy best bets here as the two teams meet for the 125th time. The Commander-in-Chief's trophy is on the line. Army are the favorites, but the line here is tight, reflective of the fact that perhaps 10 of the past 13 meetings have been decided by a touchdown or less. So when you're looking at the lines, Mackenzie, what is the data telling you?
Well, the data likes Navy to cover this game. Now, when I talk about my own little parlay, we're taking some alt lines here if I want to get into that as well. So there's a lot of players I'm talking about today isolating, one of them being Navy quarterback Horvath here. Now, we'd like him to have 60-plus rushing yards in this game. I understand we had some injuries against Tulane. This is everything on the line, right? These guys look forward to this game every single year. And if one of them were playing in the college football playoff, maybe this would be a different situation, but put it all out on the line for him. We have him around 90% in our model. Odds makers more implying he's like a 70%, but I think we can still get even 100 yards out of him. And then we're going to fullback Eli Heidenreich here to go over his rushing and receiving yard line of 68.5. Now, this is a guy who's averaging 91.5 rushing and receiving yards on the season. It really just takes one or two explosive plays for him. He could cover this just with rushing yards. He could cover this just with receiving yards as well. And then we go just Army -2.5, a little alt line there, looking for them just to win by a field goal. When you look at the common opponents, both common wins here. It's just Army killing these teams while Navy is not doing it in as much style. I mean, both of them get killed by Notre Dame. But again, we have Army who's 6-1 against these common opponents, and Navy not very similar record there. That's all I have to say.
In terms of the couple of players to watch, I mean, you pointed out, you know, in terms of your parlay, Danny, I thought if you were going to be talking quarterbacks in this game, you would be talking about Bryson Daly. But you're going the other way with a Navy player.
Yeah, so Bryson Daly with Army or Navy? Who do you want me to start with? Navy, I am going with their quarterback, Blake Harvath. You have him in your bet, and I'm glad you didn't go over on the passing yards because neither one of these teams are going to go too high on their passing yards. But Blake Harvath, we've seen what it's meant. You mentioned the injuries he had to deal with. He's actually up for comeback player of the year because last year had a thumb injury, which I do think hampered him in that Notre Dame game. The score was pretty deceiving. There were 6 turnovers in that one. I think it was a direct result of his thumb. Then he missed their last game of the season. I actually talked to Blake Horvath this week, and he said he was resting up for this game specifically. These players want to win this game more than any Super Bowl, more than any playoff appearance, what it means to him. And Blake Horvath has brought an element of a little bit of a dual threat, which is kind of a newer wrinkle to what Navy typically does. He's extremely athletic once he gets the open field, but I think the most important thing to look for is a healthy Blake Horvath, which I do think he is.
It's funny because, you know, weeks and weeks ago we were talking about one of these teams potentially being in the playoff, and we were like, oh my God, are they going to sit these guys? Like, what a wild situation that would have been. I'm glad we're not dealing with that because now we are going to get a phenomenal game and probably one of the best, or most explosive Army-Navy games we'll see in a while. Navy's certainly having that explosive potential.
And then on the other side, for Army, I don't like to give the quarterback too much attention, even though they do deserve it, Mackenzie. But Bryson Daly, I do think he should have been in New York, by the way, as the 5th guy for the Heisman. Wow. How cool would it have been to see him brought in like on a tomahawk chopper or something like that? Would have been incredible. But nonetheless, everybody knows about him. I don't know if anybody knows about Kanye Udo, their B-back in their system, who is also a 1,000-yard rusher. Bryson Daly has over 1,000 yards. Udo does it well. The 1-2 punch of the quarterback and the B-back are really what make Army so tough because you keep a lot of times opposing coaches will try to take away your best asset. So they'll try to take away Daly, the quarterback, and then all of a sudden Udo goes off. If you try to take away Udo, it opens the opportunity for Daly. They are so tough to stop together, but I do think if you're Navy, you're trying to take away Bryson Daly and what he does, which I think could provide a big opportunity for Udo.
Set to be a great game today, and of course, players to watch. And, of course, some wagers to make. Yeah, we got some money to make. The college football playoffs are here, and you can bet on all the big matchups with FanDuel. Plus, right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just scan that QR code to bet college football on America's #1 sportsbook. And with that, let's get to the parlay pick for today. What are we looking at, Mackenzie?
We're going again. Blake Horvath here to go over 59.5 rushing yards. We have the fullback Heidenreich to go over his rushing and receiving yard line of 68.5. And a nice little alt line for Army. Just the -2.5. Give me a field goal win for Army.
Not touching the under.
It's
going
disgusting.
under 10 times.
I know, but it's going down. Oh, it's a little too low.